Tracy Stefanisk might be about 20 minutes late. So I'd like to have a roll call.
Alderperson Vitale.
Here.
Grisham. Here. Frankie. Here. Rote.
Here.
4 present, 1 excused.
Thank you. Then we have the approval of the minutes of License and Health Committee of February 23rd.
Move to approve.
Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor of the motion? Opposed? The ayes have it. Then we move on with item D, new and previous matters. 2020-22 operator license bartender class D operator application for Kathleen Slater. Mr. Sorwin.
You bet. She is a new applicant. This is under the newer edition of the ordinance about how the clerk's office is reviewing these, and then it goes to the committee. She's applying for a new operator's permit. She's a valid driver's license. I did check with the police department on that one to make sure. She's got what is listed from the DOT as miscellaneous driving offenses in 2019, and then OWI in 2020. That's the same as the works report in DOT. CCAP has nothing on it.
So any questions from the committee members?
Well, I would like to address that, Mr. Chair. The first thing I look at when we had these infractions of OWIs, now we had already said we'd automatically bring somebody if they were 5 years or less to committee to explain. However, when I look at reasonable rehabilitation, the criteria that meets that is usually when they have a valid driver's license, they have to go through those steps. So I guess I don't know how we want to approach this as a committee, but I guess that would be my point. If you have a valid driver's license, oftentimes that means you had to fit those steps and protocol to rehabilitate. So do we then, in consensus, say, should we have her in just to verify that, to make sure all those steps were taken? I guess this is for discussion.
The way I look at it is based on the, of course, the amount of incurrences, and in this case, I believe was 1 traffic violation and 1 OWI. So I don't know if it's enough for us to really to held this person, what I call hostage, based on that, really. I mean, like I said, once we get, I think, more than 2, I believe, or 3, then I think it should be some, based on what you say, I believe then there should be some kind of classes, but for 1 offenses or, to me, the driver part, that's fine. I don't think we can do anything about that. And then I believe she has a driver's license at this time, right?
Yes, the way that the police department explained it to me is usually when people get an OWI, they'll be revoked for a period of time automatically unless they challenge that. So she was revoked for a period of time, and then basically as soon as she entered that plea, she was able to reinstate, so it was almost instantaneous. So the date that she was convicted is also the date right about the time she reinstated her license.
Okay.
So I believe in the past, I think we have been approved some same situations, So, but again, that's up to the committee.
May I bring Alderman Stefanski up to speed? We're discussing Kathleen Slater, new applicant for licensure. She has a works report of 1 OWI, but she does have a valid this 2020. So I think it was August of July of 2020. She does have a valid driver's license. So we're just discussing, I brought up the point that if we're looking for reasonable rehabilitation, I know we kind of had a set rule that if it was 3 years or older, 5 years, that we would bring them before council to kind of have that explanation. However, in order to fit that criteria, in order to get your license, you have to make those steps. So it was just a discussion, should we bring her in to verify this, or if obviously you have a driver's license, you had to meet that criteria. Okay. So that's just to bring you up to speed on discussion.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions from the committee members?
No, I don't have any.
On the motion? Any motion?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Then we move forward with 2021-01-17 Class B tavern license for July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 license period for Peter Años DBA 84th Street, Class Cafes, 1650.
Second.
All in favors?
How about a discussion?
Well, that, yeah, okay, any discussion?
He's here.
I think we're still doing it, aren't we?
Okay.
Is he here?
Yeah, I see, I understand
Can he
you.
come up?
Good evening, everybody.
Sure.
Good evening.
I guess, I couldn't quite tell by your blueprint. Is there an actual bar there? Like where I sit down and,
The same thing like he has for many years, since 30 years ago.
you can take your mask down when you're talking to us.
The place is the same years like 30 years ago. I used to have the bar, supper, the dining room, and all the same. He didn't change anything.
And is the restaurant open 24 hours?
If you allow, maybe.
Oh, maybe if I would have read further, I'd find that out.
Right now,
I
it's
guess I just get an answer.
7 to 8 right now.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
But then again, based on the applicant, Mr. Engels always had a good business operations, whatever he ran, he was telling, so. So there's an motion to approve, there's a second.
Mr. Chair, I would
Yes.
just like to address, Mr. Agnos, congratulations on reopening the business. I did stop in the first week, just to kind of get an idea. We were pretty familiar with Johnny V's, running it all those years, that you have that back room that is separate from the restaurant. Is that where you're going to host private events, things like that, kind of in line to what it's always been, as you said, for the past 30 years? Is that where the liquor is going to be kept, or is that going to be in your kitchen area?
Yeah, they have a separate room.
Okay, and there is no entrance to that area unless there is an event or there is staff going in there, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right, that's my question.
So there's a.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Basically, Mr. Agnes, it was kind of hard to understand if you were going to also have the restaurant business there along with the tavern business? Or did you discontinue the restaurant business?
No, I don't understand what you mean.
There's no tavern, Rosie. It's a
Is it
restaurant.
purely going to be a tavern and not a restaurant now?
As I used, no. It's going to be the restaurant and serve liquor.
Okay,
He didn't change anything that's original, the place.
okay,
They have the bar on the side and they serve into the restaurant.
I see. So the restaurant part will be serving food as well?
Right,
All right. Thank you for clarifying that.
thank you.
So I believe it's not just people go there and sitting in the bar. People wait for the, if it's crowded, they wait for the, they call them for the table. I mean, that's the way it works. So that's the time people just sit in. So many bars, restaurants,
No,
that's how
it's
they
not a
operate. Okay. So all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Good luck,
Take care.
Mr. Agnos.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. Then we move on with 2021-012 Class B tavern license for the July 1st, 2020 and June 30th, 2021 license period for the Back Wrestling Taco LLC DBA Wrestling Taco 1606 South 24 Street, West Dallas, Wisconsin 5321. Agent Nicole M. DeBack, new non-existing location. Nicole is here?
Hi.
Okay, Nicole. So what you looking tonight from us?
Well, we are opening a Mexican restaurant, and we're hoping to be able to serve margaritas.
Yeah. So any questions from the members?
No, I move
Mr.
to.
Chair,
Yes.
I have a few questions. In your application here, and the only reason I pointed it out was we've been getting burned on a lot of cameras, like not working. How many cameras are you going to have? It just says cameras on building.
Oh, okay. I haven't decided, but I would take any recommendation you have. I would assume one on each side, on the outside, or two on each side.
And that's not up to us to discuss either. It's just that we've been running into a lot of, our police go in and cameras aren't working.
Oh, okay.
The west wall isn't working. There's all these blind spots, and I would just want to impress upon you how
Okay.
important we want all of the cameras to be working. And are you going to be a hands-on,
Yeah.
like you're going to be there every day?
Yeah.
That's another thing we're running into, to where everybody, like the owner's never on site, and we're getting or they're getting in trouble for not having the owner on site. So you're going to be there pretty much every day?
Yes.
Opening till close or not, or is that pushing it?
Myself or another family member,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
until we get to the point where we want to hire a manager or
Okay.
somebody for that role.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Alderman Ranky?
It sounds like a great plan, basically. You're very close in proximity to Mr. Agnes's
That's true.
tavern as well.
Right. That's true. Well, hopefully because we have different types of a menu, different style restaurants, we won't be competing with
Very
each other.
definitely. Yes, I would
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
On number 2, you checked yes and no.
Oh, for what question? Oh,
Have you ever been convicted of any
Oh,
offenses?
no. I filled that out online, so I must have,
I see. Well, I just was wondering which one it was.
no.
Okay, it's a no.
It's definitely a no.
All right. Well,
Sorry about that.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Any further questions?
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Just
Alderman.
for clarification, this is a restaurant, not a
Yeah,
tavern.
that's
okay?
right.
Because Rosalie, Mr. Agnes's property too, they're both restaurants.
Yeah, the same
Right.
thing.
So with that
Yes.
being said, you're going to serve just margaritas?
No, if I can get the liquor license, we'll serve whatever types of drinks people would like to have.
Okay, so there'll be a licensed bartender
Right.
on site at all times?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's all my questions.
Okay, all in favor of the motion?
We didn't make a motion
We
yet, I
didn't
make a
make a
motion to
motion.
approve.
Motion.
Could I ask you another question, please?
Sure, yeah.
Where did you come by this title?
Well, it has to do with luchadors. It's just kind of something funny to get people's attention, like the movie Nacho Libre. You're probably not familiar with that, but wrestling is kind of a interesting thing in the Mexican culture. So we'd like to decorate with those masks that they wear. It's just a fun idea, I guess.
I'm familiar with it.
Okay.
Your
It
alter
got my
ego.
attention.
Yeah, good.
Wait till you see the mask I ordered.
Exactly. Tracy will be first in line.
Yes, you would, yeah.
My son was a wrestler, but I think this is a little different.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
I made a motion for approval.
A second.
all in favor of the motions?
Aye.
Good luck in business.
Opposed?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good luck to you.
Thank you so much. I brought menus. I don't know if you wanted to see.
Oh, we'd love to see
You
a
have a
menu, thank you.
Menu? That's great.
But I ran out of staplers, or I ran out of staples.
That's
Okay,
fine.
thank you so much.
Thank you for
I don't know
sharing.
if I have enough.
We can share it.
Thank you.
Short one, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now we move on with 2021-016, combination Class A retail license for sale and fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquors for the July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 license period for Express Liquor LLC, DB Express Liquor, 8530 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin, 53214, agent Jess Minder, Cinch, new existing locations. Mr. Cinch is here. I understand that you have the present locations already right now, right? So what you guys looking for? It's changing agent or names or?
No, we change our license. We bought the liquor store right now.
Oh, you just bought it? Oh, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You'll be a new agent.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, he's the new owner. I'm Attorney Vince Bobbitt representing him. Yes, he is the new owner, and he's looking to have the license placed in his name or company's name.
So basically, you're going to continue the same what
Yes.
the previous operator had, right? So any questions from the committee?
I do have questions. Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Again, under the questionnaire, you didn't indicate on number 2 as well. Have you been convicted of any offenses? You didn't check either yes or no.
What's that mean?
You ever been arrested?
Convicted of a crime.
Yeah, just, I mean,
No, no
just
crime.
anything, no.
And that surprised me because I know he had told me he hasn't been. I don't know why it's not checked.
Well,
Yeah, there's no doubt, if you say it's not checked, it's not checked.
So it is no then?
It is no.
All right, thank you. Also, you took out an application for cigarette and tobacco products. Do you meet the distance requirements
Just,
on that?
yes.
How so? Because you're very close to Walgreens, aren't you?
Does it already have a cigarette license?
Yes.
Your address?
Yes.
He already has one.
He has already have the
Oh, he's
tobacco
asking for a
license.
cigarette? Is that something new?
No, he's a new applicant, so that's why he put it down, you
When
know?
did you receive this license?
My understanding is that he's taking over the license.
taking over the license,
over
right.
existing
Licenses
license.
already apply at the
Yes.
location. He's basically the new owner of the establishment taking over those licenses.
Yes, that's all it is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there's nothing.
There's no changes,
No
just the
changes.
agent is changing. you know.
Mr. Chair, for
Yes.
clarity and proximity, your business location is near the Honey Dip Donuts on Greenfield, correct? It's
Yes.
within that one block?
Yes.
So it's already a store that's been in business for many, many years, that has had licenses. You are just now going to be taking over ownership?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not a gas station, it's a convenience store, which was probably a 7-Eleven at one time? Okay, all right. I
Okay.
move to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the seconds?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. We're all set. Thank you for coming, eh?
Good luck.
Take care.
Okay, Jessamine.
Now we have 2021-0139, Class A retailer license for sale of fermented malt beverage for the July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 license period for State Fair Petrol Mart Incorporation, DBA State Fair Petrol Mart, 8404 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin, 53214. Agent Gerter Nagra, new non-existing location, gas stations.
If I may, Chair,
Yeah.
I'm Attorney Ben Spabit. Gorinda Negra had asked me to come with them today, and what it is it's going to be a brand-new gas station. It's going to be just under a $2 million investment. It's going to be an Amical. He goes in front of the Planning Commission tomorrow?
No, next month.
Next month, he goes in front of the Planning Commission to approve the construction, and he hopes to have breaking ground in June or July. He's applying for this license because he'd like that to be part of his business. I know that the local alderman was contacted by a party and that there was some reservations, and I don't know if that still exists or the committee would like some further research into that possibility, but that's what he would like to have. I had told, when he had contacted me, I had told him that when I go in front of the Milwaukee or other places, I more or less, my personal opinion is that beer is a convenience item. In other words, it's like somebody buying a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread. It's not really like a liquor store where you're purchasing hard liquor. Now, I don't know if that's the same atmosphere here in West Dallas, but that's what he wants to accomplish.
Yeah, well, every community, of course, we have our municipal code and, sometimes dealing and comply with certain rules. See, myself, as long as he spent that kind of money, I would like to see, if it goes through, of course, have a separate doors for the Class A license, not having one entrance, the kids or customers, whoever come through the gas stations, and be able to go to the left or to the right in getting their beer, the beverage. So that's one thing that I believe most of us in this committee or the council feel that it should be a separate entrance. He could have that right next adjacent this same building, but have a different entryway. To me, would be more, I think, safe in reference of kids, perhaps underage people purchase the liquor. To me, it's one of the thought that I think this council,
Well, one thing I think he could commit to is that he could have the beer in a cooler with no other items other than beer products, and have that right by the front counter under supervision. Because I think a separate entrance would be probably very difficult for a gas station. But I do notice that he could have it right by the front counter, nothing else but beer in there, and then, of course, locking it up after the time where you can't sell beer anymore.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to address this entirely because Tim actually has been a very good advocate and representative for you in looking at this business coming into West Dallas. And I have to tell you, I'm very pleased with the plans going forward. I just wanted to address our committee members because we've kind of had a blanket statement with no gas stations having liquor licenses because alcohol and liquor do not mix. However, I do believe that we have the authority within our committee to take a look at certain businesses and give our reasonings behind why we wouldn't authorize a liquor license. As I've been informed by Attorney Serwin, it's not a guarantee. However, I think that idea with having that alcohol by the counter, that you are in charge of distributing that is key to this. One of the biggest concerns we had with that convenience part of the driving and whatnot is, accessibility to kids, problems that other gas stations have had with robberies, things like that are concerning to me as a committee member. But now I'm going to address the committee on this more so just to kind of show support of this because I would be in support and favor if we do those extra steps and measures. One being the fact that Parthenon right across the street has a liquor license. We just authorized a liquor license for a convenience store 1 block away that I can tell you, quite honestly, is not putting $2 million into the community. And I would like to see that we support local business, that you're not coming before the committee, and just because it's a gas station, we're saying no. I saw on your plan that it's about 20% of your sales. As a business owner myself, that is, very important to your bottom line. So as long as I see that you're taking the measures that are necessary, we don't see you later on coming back before the council, and that's just something that, to keep in mind going forward. Those would be my kind of my input on it.
So you would be no objections, like his attorney Tim explained.
No, I wouldn't, because they've worked very closely with Steve and everybody else,
Yes.
As far as erecting this building and putting this investment into the community.
Yes.
And I think it'll be a very well-run business. I will add that I do
I
know
believe
that
it will, really.
you
I mean,
own several other locations, and one of the questions that I had for Tim when we talked about mitigating crime and other things, because West Dallas is known, you're very accessible to the freeway.
Yep.
And it's a one-stop shop. Somebody can come burglarize you, and then you're off on the freeway. We don't want to see that happening. But I believe that you've had several other businesses that, what do you use for mitigating that type of issue?
I'm going to put beer glass there for the cabin, for the
Okay.
cashier. So at all my gas stations, I have that. So I haven't had any. And I'll have like a 32 camera system,
Okay.
surveillance system, and it'll be outside all around the building too.
Very well lit, as I have seen from the plans.
Sure.
It looks like it's going to be a really nice.
It's going to be brand new. We are knocking down the old canopy.
Mm-hmm.
We are putting the new canopy, and the building will be all remodeled. Will be like brand new.
Okay.
Alderman Stefanowski.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to stick with my guns here. I don't believe alcohol and gas stations mix. I just don't. Being able to pull up in a car, get your gas, go and get gasoline at the same place, that's asking for trouble. I'm a big advocate against drunk driving and just promoting gasoline and getting gas for a car and getting alcohol at the same time just doesn't fly with me. And we've got stores all over the place that already have licenses. Why does a gas station have to have a license for alcohol? I don't agree with it.
But the fact stands that we do have some gas stations.
We have two.
Yeah, we do have. Yeah, we have two. So
One of them was way before I became on the council.
yeah. So the fact stands that how far can we really, based sometime like older person Christian, she addressed the fact that based on the investment that we get in West Dallas, it's a good chunk of money that the gentleman has really put in to our community, you know, so that's how I base my, in some way, my support. You know, if it was just something that was not meet our requirements, to me, it's a big investment. It's something that really, something could be workable, you know?
I've seen other investments come into this city too that don't ask for alcohol licenses, that spend that kind of money and are just as successful.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
May I answer to that, Tracy, just a little bit? I look at the fact that, honestly, as I said, so you're opening your business on 84th. We just gave a liquor license to 85th. What is going to be the difference if that vehicle, if they wanted to get liquor, that they're just going to swing up to the next business? We do have free market here, and it should be able to at least come in with a business and be competitive. They could walk across the street to Parthenon. You know, there's all kinds of different establishments that they can go to get liquor from. So like I said, I'm looking at more, not every gas station is going to be granted a liquor license, in my opinion. I'm not going to vote yes on every one, but I'm looking at this specific one for these reasons, and that's why I would be supportive of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think I have anything more to add.
One more.
Yeah, go ahead, Alderman.
So Amoco is actually going to be a BP, correct? Isn't Amoco gone? Wasn't that purchased by BP?
No, they're coming back now. That's the same brand, BP and
They are.
Amoco.
Okay, so it's going to be a BP or Amoco?
Amoco.
Okay. What's to say the gas station over here on 76 in Greenfield is a BP? That means they should be able to have alcohol as well? It's just...
Well, again, it's got to fit our requirements. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Attorney Sermon?
Yes,
So,
I thought
just
it
to speak
sure-
about- this doesn't go to anybody's argument specifically, but when there's a new non-existing location, the committee has wide discretion over allowing those or not allowing those. The only limit that would be on something like this is any limit that you can create for yourself. So think of it as the email I sent before as the Class A liquor. We've limited, the committee and the council has said, we aren't issuing those, and the only limit on your discretion is the fact that you've limited yourself. And so if the committee wants to make determinations on a case-by-case basis, you can do so. If you want to say this gas station but not this gas station, that's completely legal to do so. If you want to say no gas stations, that's completely legal to do so. It's up to the committee as long as we have justified it to make a discretionary decision. It might be that there's too much crime in that area. There's too many bars in that area. There's too many this in that area. The past incidents there have required that we don't have one, or the amount of finances that's being brought in by a certain plan is sufficient. And so you don't have to make each one a case-by-case basis is what the law would say. You can proceed as you see fit.
so that's our duty, you know, whatever direction, so we feel it fits for the welfare of the city. Alderman Road?
How many other gas stations do you own? And you can take your mask down.
I have 4 others, sir.
How many have alcohol?
None of them.
Okay.
They're all in city of Milwaukee.
And none of them have alcohol?
No.
Okay. And then the open pantry with the gentleman before on 85th and Greenfield, that license was an existing license which came over from Town Beer and Liquor over mid-block by State Fair. I don't know what the correct, Walker?
Yeah.
I don't know what that street is.
Those are smaller stations.
I remember specifically about 3 months ago when the guy on 105th in Greenfield, the little mobile dealer, wanted to do gas or alcohol at his gas station, but actually was with the restaurant. And we heard from every liquor store owner from the east city limits to the west city limits on Greenfield Avenue, like, we don't want any more liquor stores, beer included, because that's what the guy wanted on 105th and Greenfield. So I know it's not up for vote right now, but I am not in favor of this. We just, and a little more history, about 2 months ago, we just denied 6 gas stations, Speedway. These are just all,
If I might just answer my client.
I may say one more thing.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I thought you
No,
had
no,
concluded.
this is not Milwaukee either. We just run it different here.
No, I just wanted to point something out. I'll wait until you're.
No, I'm done. That was my opening comment, like, this is not Milwaukee. I mean, it seems like everybody gets a liquor license down there.
Well, no, because he has 4 gas stations that don't have a,
not him and
I just wanted to address that answer. The 4 gas stations he owns are very small compared to this one. This is a fairly big project. I mean, it's a major investment, modern store, and that's why he's applying for it, because of the amount of investment and what he's doing in West Allis. And of course, as the other council members say, that 20% sometimes can make or break you for viability.
And if I may, Mr. Chair, one more
Yeah,
thing.
go
Question
ahead.
for Nick. Don't you need, are you the owner of the building right now?
No, sir.
Don't you need to have ownership to get a license?
Well, he's by the building, I mean, he's by the owner. He's
What's
buying.
that?
I think under the code right now, you need to have right to premises. I know Kale has opined that might be kind of an antiquated idea or way of thinking about it. Is the property built right now, or what? What's the
It's,
situation?
it's,
An
a,
existing building.
it's a service shop now.
So you're looking for, to be clear, you're asking for a liquor license, but you don't own the property yet?
I have a contract on that.
Okay.
I'll be closing after we get all the proper licenses and permits for the construction.
It's a contingency,
Okay.
and then, of course, he's got to go in front of the planning commission.
And that was the last thing I was going to say is that I know Steve Shear had emailed, I think it was the clerk's office and myself.
He did,
that
yeah.
There's building inspections and the planning commission, there's a bit more going on. I'm not sure if this is quite yet for getting a license. I'm not sure where it's at on that front.
And if I may note, Mr. Chair, if
Yes.
some of these people could just get these emails out to us a little sooner than an hour before the kickoff?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sure.
Just for a point of clarity for Alderman Rote, that example you gave
Which
was...
one? I gave a whole bunch.
Let me finish, please.
was
The example you gave for the 105th location was a BP gas station, and that was Winnie's Kitchen that was looking to open. And if I may jog your memory, we went in, and the issue was there wasn't a setup, there was blocked doors, fire had to sign off, there was an issue. They already have a liquor license at that gas station.
Correct.
What they were wanting to do is open up a restaurant, which in turn, we did say, hey, you know what, do what you need to do, come back and apply. We will
Yep.
then address it. So that's not a fair comparison for one. As far as a representative of the community and being my district specifically, I can let you know Walsh's Liquor is on 110th and Greenfield. We have Olympia on 90th. When I'm looking at legitimately, like I said, and where I would advocate and saying we have $2 million going into the community, this isn't, I'm just going to open up the vacant restaurant in my gas station and put wine through the window. I think that this gentleman is really looking to put his roots here in West Allis. I think 20% makes a huge difference in the bottom line, and he runs a decent establishment. So if we're giving a blanket statement saying, okay, no gas station ever is going to ever be approved with this board, and I think that's really what we're giving. We're giving off that information saying, don't even bother coming here if you have a gas station. And that's not really what our job is. We do need to really look at each individual business and the reasons why we would grant it. So why would I grant that at a convenience store over a gas station? You can say the gas is the issue. You're fueling up and you're driving off. You go to Festival Foods that just got theirs granted. We could say the same thing. Well, we don't want you buying liquor and driving. So therefore this grocery store shouldn't have it. So I think we're having a bias when it comes to looking at gas station versus any other viable business. And that's my additional point to it to take into consideration. Thank you.
So I do believe the gentleman already has plans to move forward to the development department, right? To
Yes, sir.
Steve
Yeah.
Shear?
Yeah, we are planning to go before the April meeting for the planning board. And
So you have through the development department, you have a meeting coming up to the planning commission, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. So I had a questions based on the information from Mr. Steve Shear. Of course, he wants to know because based on the quality of structures, and the layout and everything else, So he has a good feeling on your proposal that you brought forward for him to look into it, you know, so at this point, I don't know, any more questions for the gentleman?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Nick, could you please help me out on this? If he is building, or has a building across the street from, or a block away, does he still have a distance requirement
It's not the same business, Rosie.
for the cigarette license, electronic smoking device sales?
So,
I'm not following. So he's also applying, this application
He's
also
applied
includes-
for electronic smoking device sales license.
We'd have to look at that. I'm not sure about the distance requirement. I'll have to look
There's a 2,000-foot requirement.
between, and I've seen that for like cigar shops that are going in. And
So if we okay this, do we okay the cigarette license as well, the vaping product license?
That's on there and it's not separated off yet. If any approval would be approval unless you would take off certain portions of, for whatever license you're trying to do.
Well, I would like to know if it meets the distance requirement,
I would too.
because that's very important. We do have a ordinance to that effect.
Certainly.
Is that restricted to electronic cigarettes?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. So
Is that what your question is, on electronic cigarettes or tobacco cigarettes in general?
it's an electronic smoking device sales, but it's cigarettes, vape products.
Well, I don't think you'd have any objection to not doing electronic stuff, but regular cigarettes are,
This is part of the ordinance. I'm sorry.
so, because if you don't have cigarette sales at a gas station, I don't know how they would ever survive.
Well, that's the rules.
Well, if he just provides on his license selling cigarettes, I mean, I don't think we can, but like I say, if you, I mean, he could state the fact that.
It has
he
to
was-
be within the distance requirement.
Well, this is,
Mr.
I
Chair.
understand that.
Yes.
We talk about cigarettes, but not electronic, whatever you call all those.
may I get a little bit of an education here? Is that vaping products?
Vaping product, yes.
And cigarettes, or is it,
I
if
thought
he
it was
sold
both.
cigarettes separate and not vaping products,
No,
is there a
both of
distance?
them.
It would be,
Yes,
right.
I understood the ordinance.
I'm looking it up right now, just trying to figure it
Thank
out.
you.
And then I do have a question. How is that information obtained from the clerk's office? Is there some entity that's checking on distance requirements?
I believe the zoning department is supposed to be doing that.
Okay.
You're not applying for vaping, I mean, it just as well, we're gonna sell cigarettes, right?
Cigarette and tobacco products.
No,
yeah.
he
It
has
says vape
listed
products on it
vape
as well.
products.
Yeah, see,
on
that's, yeah.
Did you check vape products in there?
Yeah, they had a license, so I applied for it. They had a separate license for that. I mean, if that's it, we can take it back, the vape products.
Yeah, he's willing to withdraw the request for the vape license.
It's listed under his,
Yeah,
Yeah, he's willing to withdraw
If there's a
that.
problem, I can withdraw it.
So we can, you can amend that.
I think though, Alderwoman Malinke is checking on cigarettes as well, because your understanding is any tobacco product has to have within 2,000 feet or something like that? Is that what
Yeah.
you're,
well, he's
It must
looking
be in
it
the
up, and I'm
plan
sure that's how I
code.
understood it.
okay,
It's not in the license.
That's where I was looking, okay.
Must
How would
be
that
in
work for
planning.
Quick Trip then?
I don't know.
On Highway 100, we
Yeah,
have
because all the other
we have
gas stations
problems
that
on
have
Highway
it.
100.
Because Quick
See, the only reason why I question it with the tobacco, the cigarettes, is because you can never have more than one gas station on a corner.
yeah.
The vaping, I can understand, because it's like a different animal, so to speak.
When is this intending to open? It doesn't sound like within the next month, correct?
Well, he's not going to break ground till June or July.
Okay. So the only reason I bring that up is I want to make sure that if planning or development is supposed to be looking at these issues and we haven't gotten that, that would be something I want to broach with them and kind of see what their process is. And double check just to make sure that if it's cigarettes or,
And,
that's kind of what I want to know is.
Exactly.
How that applies to it, because I'm not finding the answer immediately and I don't want to give you an off-the-cuff answer that's incorrect.
Well, I could attest
we'll
the
put
fact.
this on hold,
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
The-
then, till we find out.
Yeah, but let me say that Speedway between 57 and 58 in West Burnham, they sell cigarettes. Across the street, just on Burnham by the, right on Beloit Road, there's a vape shop, they sell cigarettes and they sell all different kind of stuff. So that's probably less than, I would say, not even 100 feet. So that's one thing we got to check. If it's less than 100 feet, how this guy can
Well, maybe
operate.
grandfathered in, Mr. Chair.
But he just opened up probably not even a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, they opened up.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I believe Alderwoman Ranky
Yeah, we can wait, sure.
made that holdover request, so why don't we do that? So we
Yeah,
don't
that's
take
true,
up any
that's
more of
fine.
your time, and we can get the right answers. My apologies that we don't have that available right now, so we can make the decision, but is that acceptable for you?
Oh, yes, my client understands that he wants to partner with West Dallas. And the only reason why he said to me just now to put vape, because it was available. He doesn't have any problem dropping that request. And he certainly wants to, make sure and satisfy all of you that he's going to run a good business and he's not going to have juveniles in there purchasing beer. He's got a lot of experience or shoplifting it and taking it out or driving up and just buying beer and driving off. That's not what he's looking to do. And he views it as a convenience item, which is about, a significant portion of business for that establishment.
I think the committee understands that, sir, but we have to go by what the ordinance has indicated. So that's what we have to look up at this
Well,
time.
that's right. We have no objection to you holding it over.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
So,
Hold it over?
Yeah,
There's one.
I'll make a motion that we hold it over
Second.
while we,
so the fact that is, what would be the problem for us to just to maybe in the future be an amendment in regard to give them the A license, and then with contingency of find every detail if it be acceptable from us, of course, or by the zoning for him to sell a vaping product. Again, by the way it sounds, I don't think either way, you could just take that out. So we can approve, I believe, the license if it's the wish of the committee members.
we already voted, Mr. Chair.
But we didn't vote on to approve or disapprove. We didn't vote on it yet.
No, we voted to hold.
There was a motion and a
motion on
second.
the
We have to
table.
take it to vote.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's fine.
For clarity reasons, I guess we'd look back to Attorney Serwin. I think there is confusion whether it's not the vaping issue, Alderman Vitale, it's cigarettes as well.
Yes.
So is it both or one or the other? I think am I clear on this?
I'm looking at.
That's why we're looking it
all
up.
the distance requirements on that, because that's the second time this question's come up, and I don't have an answer for it.
Right.
On the first one, and so my understanding, there was a motion and a second to hold it for a meeting or two, or whenever the committee decides to bring it back. So that vote would need to happen first before the additional vote.
Correct.
So we're going to hold it until next meeting, to give you enough time to look it up?
Yeah, we could do, but my thought was to approve the, if we wanted, the liquor license portion and leave the other one for the next meeting. Can it be done that way, or we can do it all together?
I
It
think,
would have to be, I think it would have to be a new application at that point, so you would approve in part. It's tough because they're all in a group, and so.
Yeah, it's all in
you have to
one.
separate them out if you wanted to, and then you got to, I guess it would be separated out. I'm not sure in terms of record keeping for the clerk's office how clean that would be. That's one of my main concerns.
why don't we keep it simple and just do the holdover?
Yeah, that's fine.
We've got a
You
motion
guys
and a
have no
second.
problem with that, right?
We just need a
No
vote. So, did you
That's
want to
fine.
call for a vote?
Yeah, let's vote on. So, on your motion,
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
disapprove,
It's approved.
It's
It's approved to hold.
approve, to hold it. So all in
Yes.
favor?
Yep, aye.
Aye, we all voted. Thank you.
Opposed?
Thank you
The ayes
very
have
much.
it. Very good.
My apologies for the confusion.
That's no problem. I say Mr. Negro wants to come here to West Dallas.
Thank you.
All right. Now we have another one 2021-0172 combination Class A retail license for sale ferment malt beverage and intoxicating liquor for the July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 license period for the Fast Fuel Convenience 2 LLC, DBA Fast Fuel Convenience 600 West National Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin 53214, Agent Simet Jet S. Benipo, non-existing location, gas station.
Good evening, everybody. From Fast Fuel Convenience to 6000 West National Avenue.
Would you mind pulling your mask down? Thank you.
I was advised by City Attorney and Rebecca that A-Mart can't be granted at a gas station. It has to be a separate store.
A liquor.
Yeah, a liquor.
The
So
alcohol.
if we can amend it to just a beer.
Just a beer.
Just a beer, so. Let me give you a brief idea how it will be located and controlled. It will be a separate 8-door walk-in cooler, completely closed at 9 p.m. in night, and that's it.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I have a couple questions for you. My concerns with this location specifically is that, as Attorney Serwin had pointed out before, that seemed to be more of a crime area, that there have been multiple robberies of the gas station, not just that gas station, other gas stations, and I have great concerns regarding that issue altogether. So what, the other gas station had cameras and other things.
24 surveillance cameras and 2 employees 24 hours.
So I want to fill in something too. We just bought the property on January 5th of this year. The previous owner, the way they were running the business, they had a less employee at the place. They were not, that station is not supposed to run by a single employee. We have actually double and triple employee right now. We have total 7 employee at the moment, and even at nighttime, always 2 employee. It's never run without 2 employee. So the way we are approaching at the moment, we have two doors, entrance doors, right? If you guys want it, actually, the way they built it, the station, they wanted to put a RB restaurant in there. It never happened because they could not get the drive-through over there. So that was like ended. They had a full basement and so much room back there. We thought it only we can do a beer on the section, not liquor. We don't want nothing to do with the liquor. So just a beer on the side, and we can control, and you guys can see 1 year how we do. If you think we are not where we need to be, take our license away. We have no issue with it.
So based on what you're addressing, you say you have enough space. So per se, you want to open up just selling beer. Could you probably have a different entrance for the beer?
We have a 2-door on the front. I can put a little section on the wall and said, beer customer go from this door, and the gas and all that go from this door. It's a 2-door entrance.
So kids won't be able to get
No,
in there?
we can make it separate.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
I have some visual concerns with the separate entrance that we have as it's written. I would think it'd be more difficult to man a separate entrance than there would be to have, like you,
I mean, it's still...
more supervision. I'm just speaking
Yep.
in general about all of the gas stations that we talked about having this separate entrance. I think people would be more inclined to have problems with somebody going in that separate entrance and sneaking out than they would having to be within the business. So I don't necessarily support that idea of that separate entrance. I do like the locked features. Anything to minimize the ability for, the liquor to be stolen and or kids to have access to it. That's my bigger concerns. I'm not necessarily in approval of this, okay, we have a separate section within the building. Because unless you have an employee staff there all the time, you have a problem.
And another thing we did since we took over, I mean, I don't know if you guys go there at 60th and National, they used to have a big coffee counter in the middle, which take a lot of visibility to know what's going on. We took the whole section out.
Okay.
And they had a drop ceiling, which is coming so low. I mean, right now it's totally open.
Okay.
You can see so far where, wherever the wall go. It's easy to manage, and also I said we have more employees rather than how they were running.
Okay.
Operation need employees to run it. You cannot just
with a single
save money on employee wages and just run by one. You
Has to
can,
be
but
proper.
it's tight.
Exactly.
You're not managing right. Outside their concrete is all broken. The whole parking lot is a mess right now. We are taking all that soon. The weather allow, we're taking out and putting new concrete all over. Trying to make it better, and like I openly said, if you guys grant it today, you watch us for 1 year how we do it. If you think we are not where we need to be, take it away. We have no issue.
Reasonable. Do you own any other businesses?
I own 24 gas stations.
Okay.
And we own 2 liquor stores and 24 gas stations.
So may I ask you, since you own it from January to now, have there been any robbery?
No issue.
Shut up.
2 employees to 3 employees. Before it was 1 employee, it was always run by 1 employee. And I'm sorry, the poor girl, soon as I took over, she said, I want to quit because the way they were running, they're using me to do everything. She is the one who's running out there and stocking and coming back and taking the customer right away. Week before, she quit. She said,
So a lot of this sounds like the problem was.
employee.
I'm asking
It was mismanaged.
I'm asking that because I know previously was in incurrence quite often at that gas station. That's why. So now you're the owner, a new owner. So
Yes, we
the way
bought
you
the
sound-
property and tried to make it, a little bit higher, much as, our experience and make it better for community. And any suggestion you want to let us know that we are open to change it. It's nothing, and try to control. They used to have, before, it's a lot of theft. There was people running, not anymore. Since we took over, no running, no theft, no running.
A tighter ship over there.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for you. I
Yes.
really appreciate all that information and your offer of saying, okay, let's
you.
see what we look like in a
Yes.
year.
Yes.
But just to touch on it legally, I would like Attorney Serwin to go over that because that's not really how that works.
Yeah.
What
So-
I'm thinking of right now off the top of my head is placing a condition on the license that they would surrender that license on X date. We did that for another establishment at one point that was looking for a limited scope of it. That would be the only way that we could do it without having a legal process. So if the thought is you grant it and you can take it away, we'll have to go through a revocation process, there'll have to be grounds to do so. There will be the whole legal
Yep.
proceeding that normally goes along with that. Once a license is granted, unless the condition is put in place at the time of it being granted that it's going to be surrendered on X date like we did at the other place, they have a right to obtain that license again.
Okay, then I would motion to approve if that was a condition that was put into the license, that it would we go to the next calendar year? This is a 2-year license, or is it an annual license?
Annual expires
Annual
on
license.
June 30th.
Let's look at that, and then we can review it. That would be my motion. That's not saying. we
No,
have
absolutely.
Other votes here.
We're open. And also, we have ID checkers. I spend every 24 station you guys can walk. Every state, even, we have ID scanners. Soon today, we are not selling even cigarette, nothing without checking ID. That's one thing, because once you're doing that many business, you don't want to mess up anything. We want a
Mr.
straightforward.
Chair,
Yes.
just for clarification, this application is for this license period, so it would expire this June 30th.
Oh, okay.
And then there'll be a renewal that will be coming up in the
So
next,
following one,
in
because
the next month or two.
Yeah, it's
So
on the
just
agenda, so
just for,
So we'd still have to put that condition, and it just would expire this July, and then we would have to look at the following year
Yep,
to put that same condition in.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
so
Mr. Chairman?
yes, hold on.
Did I hear you correctly? You said walk-in cooler?
Yes.
They can't walk in. It's mean walk-in cooler, they have to open the door to grab it. They can't walk in.
They can't go behind.
They can't go in the cooler.
We can go to the back to fill it up.
Just a normal cooler with
Yes.
sliding doors. It's not like you go to a big liquor store.
No,
you're
no
walking
cave.
in it.
No caves.
No cave. Why we said walk-in cooler? Because for us, we can walk behind it.
Okay, thank you.
Normally, they're like freestanding coolers, so we call walk-in coolers.
And they're locked at 9 p.m.?
Yes, locked with everything.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So any further question of the committee?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
when we grant licenses, we want you to be successful.
Thank you.
And that basically is what it's all about.
Yes.
Because there are numerous businesses in the area that also sell beer,
Yes.
my concern is that would it impact your business as well as their business? There's a tavern around the corner, there's a tavern a block away, there's a tavern another block away, and there's another gas station there that sells beer.
Yep.
So I'm a little concerned that it would be impacting all of your businesses because there's so many in the area that are selling your same product.
Can I?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Where we sitting, we are not sitting next to too many like liquor store or anything, and plus
Not liquor stores, but taverns.
even tavern people like whoever want to go to tavern, they don't sell case of beer. They want to sit, relax, they want to talk, and that's different concept. So that's where I thinking. That's where my thoughts are.
Well, I commend you on your successful businesses, but I do have a concern with the other businesses being just as successful.
From my side, I don't think so. Then, but rest on you
You don't
guys.
think it would impact?
No,
It
no.
won't affect
If-
the bar or the tavern.
Yes, it won't.
Because bar, that's a different,
Yeah, the bar is blocked off and like it's a gas station
Different clientele than a gas station.
Yeah, much.
on Greenfield Avenue on 60th. So, I mean, I know it's
Yeah, it's a.
proximity.
We have a veterinary people who, a lot of them are blind, like they walk with sticks. It's a lot of
Across
older.
the street?
Yes, older customer who want,
Just meant
that's what they
you
made
weren't
us
aware of
to
it.
approach you
Make you
guys.
aware there's a lot of competition.
Yeah, they're the one actually who brought this idea in our mind.
Oh, and that's the meaning of
Yes.
convenience, is a
Yes.
convenience store.
Yes.
So,
So any further question before we move?
It would just be for beer, Mr. Chair, then?
Beer, yeah, just
Just
beer.
for beer.
Only beer.
Just beer, and that's it.
So, Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
may. So the application right now is for a Class A liquor license. So they're amending it for the Class A, quote, just around the A, for beer only. So I want to make sure that's.
Yes.
That is true.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the second thing is, so similar to how we did it in the last time, I want to make sure I have an agreement in place so they can sign off on that and say we are voluntarily surrendering it as of June 30th, 2021. Is that the intent of this committee?
Yes, I believe it
Is
is.
that your intent as well?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys see any problem, I mean, far as I know, the coolers and everything will take maybe until May. It's, the back order, the way pandemic push everything.
Procedurally, how it's going to work is that, so on July 1st, or even prior to July 1st, you can apply for your new license.
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure we have a Class B beer license, or Class A beer license at this location.
Yes.
It's going to be a new license that you're applying for at that point in time. The distinction being that you're not basically grandfathered, you're not
Yes.
you're not guaranteed the license at that point. Conceivably, the committee could say it didn't go well like
Yes.
this, and we don't want you to have it there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're
Chair?
Yeah.
So it would say new non-existing license.
It would say new non-existing
Non-existing
license
license.
because they would have surrendered it, they willingly and voluntarily surrendered it, just like Greeby's did that one time. That rings a bell.
And then you guys have another, how we did it in 1 month, or like say, right now it's March, say April, May, we are put the cooler and start running it.
It will take
and
at least
month and a half.
by the end of April, the
So-
coolers will be done.
May starting. So then you have a month and two and see how we did it, and then you guys can make your decision. Absolutely.
Is that how you're intending this to work?
Yeah.
Yep.
We haven't voted on anything yet, but
Right.
that's how the consensus is. That's how you're intending
Yes.
to run right now?
Yes.
All right, I understand.
So there was a motion for approval. There was no second as of now, nor vote. So I made a motion to approve with those stipulations and conditions added.
So we'll still stipulation, any seconds?
Second.
All in favor of the motion with the stipulations?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
No, okay. Yes. 3
So 3-2.
to 2, yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Have a great day.
Rebecca, is this going to committee? No, this is.
Council tonight.
It's going to council tonight. So what I'm going to do is print all this up. If you guys wouldn't mind sticking around and.
Yes,
get all-
yeah, we can
the
sign it.
application now, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Stay
luck.
safe.
So,
We'll
thank
be
you.
out there.
Okay.
We'll be out there.
Okay, we move on to 2021-010, Police Department report regarding tavern violation call for service for month of February. So I believe,
Motion to place on file?
yes, a second? On the motion to place on file,
There was a second? All in favor?
all in favors?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor of the adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to get that to you before.